Day weekend.
How?
It is the end of the summer.
How is that possible?
You're looking really good today.
First of all, you wonder what...
I'm in a collared shirt.
I know.
It's
a big deal.
It's like we're dressed up.
Well, I've already told everybody we're taking a picture.
Yeah.
I was told that I was
family
going to be
pictures.
in a picture, and that this photograph could be picked up and put either online or in the newspaper.
Yes. Well, we actually, our last press release got picked up and they used the picture we provided in the newspaper.
Yes,
So
I know.
I was like, hey, we're going to take a picture. We need to make sure that we're looking, good.
Which was a little stressful because I had like a lot of appointments today that do not allow yourself to look good.
Because if you would have went to those appointments all dolled up, they would have been like, hey, lady, this isn't a beauty passion here.
No, a beauty passion.
A beauty passion.
Yeah, no, it wasn't at all. And it won't stop raining. Literally won't stop raining. So like it's also on a rainy day. It's not a
And
day
we're headed
I would
into Labor
choose
Day
to
weekend.
do my hair.
By the way, it's Labor Day weekend.
How?
It is the end of the summer.
How is that possible?
By the way, it blew by.
You've been saying forever, I feel like this entire summer, you're like, this summer's dragging. And like all of a sudden it's gone.
I felt like last summer went so fast. And then this summer, I was like, man, this is like the endless summer. And
I'm just like, hey, because we have an infant and we're not traveling all over the place.
I think we were having so much fun last summer. That's why we went fast.
We're not
this summer,
drinking
we're just like,
every day.
Now we're just like,
No.
help us. We're getting through this
The
together.
days are long, but the years are short, is what they say.
Is that what they
the time
say?
flies.
Who said that?
Someone smart, because the days are long.
Your days are long.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, we talk about that.
I know.
Speaking of long days, I just got back from the annual boys dive trip.
Yes.
So you and I each have at least one vacation a year. I think you have more than one, but I have one where I do a boys trip with just me and a couple of my friends from college.
Meet my friends.
Me and my 3 friends that I have. A lot of guys, we have a lot of acquaintances, but a lot of guys don't have friends that they can get together and do things with. So I think it is very special. I mean, even women for that matter, but I think you get together a lot more frequently with small groups of people. Whereas
we try. It wasn't always that way. I think it's like the older you get, the more important you realize those relationships are. Mm-hmm. And 2,
and family gets in the way of those relationships because everyone's.
Well, you're always traveling to go see family,
Right. No, I mean like your immediate family and life in general, like just the practices and sports and school, right? It gets in the way of actually going and hanging out with your friends. But I do feel that you and I have done a really good job at saying, hey, like we need some time, whether
we have to
going
prioritize
to see your sister.
Oh, and I know
how
much it means to me. So I would never hold you back. And in fact, I don't wish that I was constantly, watching the baby 24/7. We didn't, before we had a baby, you could have traveled as much as you want. No, but I was, what was going to be a 5-day dive trip turned into 6 days of me full responsibility just because the boys came in the night before. So I went to my parents, and it's nice. Like my parents are incredibly helpful. With the baby, but also she's a mommy's girl right now. She's like entering her, I don't want to be with anybody else but mom phase. And it's a thing. And I
love that phase.
No, well, you love spending time with
No,
her.
I love that
Don't
she loves
say it
me. No,
like that.
trust me. It's, I get so much enjoyment out of holding her and then have her look and see you and smile. Like it's fun to see her smile. So when she does that because she's looking for you and she's looking around, then she sees you and her eyes get so big.
She loves me.
It's just like
I will tell
I get
you,
enjoyment. Same way you get enjoyment when she sees me and smiles.
Yeah, there is not one other person in this world that loves me as much as Abigail does right now. I can say that for a fact. It's a good feeling.
I mean, I love you, but it's really hard to argue with like, baby love.
You've known me longer, but
like baby love. She has this undying, and it's
infectious.
I think she expresses her love in her facial expressions.
Yeah.
And it's
for sure.
just.
But anyway, so I watched her for 6 days, and there was one night where, like, literally, well, first of all, I was trying to make plans to get me through because I was like,
Right.
I need
You're
to
filling
survive.
up your days.
I had to fill up my days somehow. And so I was having this girlfriend over, and like, it's so different having people over now than it used to be. Because I'm literally like, okay, how am I going to get the cheese, like to make a cheese board? Like, well, I need to get to the store. So like, and I know everyone's listening, like you just go to the store. It's like, well, it's not that easy. You
Not
know?
that easy
You
with
got
a
to
little one.
feed, you got to nap, you got to whatever. So I'm like, I know.
I get home and I'm like, hey, do you want to go to Publix? And you're like, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, please.
Let's go to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Party.
But I literally walked with a cooler on my back and ice packs so I could, while I was walking, get the cheese and meats that I needed to then bring them home nice and chilled and like kill two birds with one
Did
stone.
you go to Sprouts or
then,
Whole Foods?
No, I went to Whole Foods. So then I used another one of her naps to like get everything ready and slice it and have it, whatever. Well, of course, the only day I'm like having a girlfriend over, she misses a nap and I'm like, oh, she's gonna be a nightmare. So I'm like already delaying it. Anyway, long story short, my girlfriend only ended up staying for like an hour, and I like did all this work all day to like get ready for it, but she just didn't want to go to bed that night and she was screaming, and I was like, okay. And meanwhile, that was the exact day that you decided to have so much fun on your dive trip, and I'm getting messages from you like, I'm so messed up right now, I'm having such a good time. And I was like, you know what, have a blast. You actually, your exact words were, I feel like I'm floating on dry land.
Well, first of all, I'm on a dive trip. And so, look, here's what happens. You know.
No, what happened was the coconut margs.
Well, yeah. And so here's the thing, right? Like, I'm not a huge drinker.
No, you
and
never
I'm,
drink.
I am also a very regulated, like, hey, the body
You know
processes
your
one
limits.
drink for an hour.
Yeah.
And so I like to just stay above that. So it's like, hey, we're hanging out, we're having a drink, but it's not like I'm going to like pass out or, whatever. So we were at this pool and we're at a resort. And we just spent the morning diving, and it's like the first dive, and so it's like a little exhausted, right? But
No, diving does take it out of you.
It takes it out of you.
And so does the
sun. And
sun.
we're already
I will give you
dehydrated.
that.
We're in the sun. And so we're at the pool. And the guys, they were kind of like doing something else or something. And I was there. We had lunch there. And I started with the first margarita. And
I remember my first drink.
I remember my first margarita. And it went really quick, right? Because I was probably thirsty. And
It
hot
tasted
out.
really good.
So the next
By the way,
one,
it looked delicious. So I'm getting these pictures. There I am at home with my infant,
Right, and I'm
drinking
just
water.
literally-
And he's got like graham cracker crusted
with
rimmed
the ocean in the
coconut.
background
Yeah, I'm
and the
like,
wind going.
I hope you're
and
having a wonderful
pools.
By the way, I'm so glad the weather was nice for you
We
guys
had
because
amazing
it
weather.
has been raining since the day you got home.
It has
but
been.
it was
I'm hoping
stunning
it's gonna
while
be
you
good
were
for-
there
for Labor Day.
I know.
So I went back and I was like, hey, instead of a single, make me a tall. I just want more coconut, more filler drink, more water, whatever. And I told the first guy, I said, look, I don't want twice the alcohol. I just want it to be tall because a lot of times, this, I order a lot of my drinks tall so I can get more tonic water, more soda water. And so I get more drink, not more alcohol. Mm-hmm. And they make the first drink fine. But then there was a shift, like a
shift change,
like
an
a shift
actual
change.
bartender.
Yeah, like a
change.
new bartender. So I go back up and I hand him and I go, and I literally said, coconut marg.
I'll have another.
I'll have another one. And so when I watched him pour it, I thought, I don't remember the other guy pouring it the same way.
Well,
and
at this point, you're
got
how
it.
many deep?
I'm like
doesn't matter.
2.
Oh.
No, I'm only like 2. I only had 2.
Look, rule of thumb,
So the
everybody,
next-
whenever Chris tells you how many drinks he had at the end of the night, like you can always add 1.
Okay, well then 3. So I've had 3, and what ends up happening is that I at least have 4 more margs.
Oh my God.
I think they weren't talls. I think they were doubles.
I'm sure they were.
So now we're kind of approaching like the 9, 10 mark.
It was a lot.
limit.
And you don't drink like that.
And I don't ever drink like that. Now I meet this guy who's up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
He's there with his 2 sons, him and his wife and their 2 sons, and we're just heading up. And he's gonna be like
Some people worry about their men going on vacation because they're like, don't be like hooking up with any other girls or like chatting it up at the bar or whatever. You like meet a guy, you're like, met the coolest entrepreneur, man. He's a family guy. Like, we sit at the bar.
Yeah,
I'm
this guy was in real estate.
He was
I'm
like,
just chatting him
oh,
up.
I
and
was
I'm like-
fine drinking until I met this guy. And I'm like, okay, don't get too crazy.
So I don't know. I think it's because the fact I was talking to his sons and being I was probably a little tipsy and telling him like one son was going to be
Probably.
electrical engineer and the other one was like communication. And I looked at the electrical engineer and I was like, bro, you're going to have a great job, a great career. It's going to be challenging. AI's coming out, blah, 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 blah. And I looked at the communication guy, I go, you're going to struggle, bro. Like, I was like, you got to work hard. But here's the thing. The guy that with the communication was like so outgoing and everything else. And after a little while talking to them, the engineer was just kind of like this introvert, right? Guy. And he was a freshman. He might not even become an engineer. He just thinks he's going to be an engineer, right? And like, it's like 80% are going to fail.
He'll change his mind.
And I told him that. I said, hey, it's going to be tough. There's a certain class that you really need to focus on. It's really going to set you, and thinking that he's further on, then I find out he's just a freshman. But anyways, the one guy was super outgoing, right? And I looked at him, I said, I've been talking to you for 25 minutes. I go, you're going to be successful because of how you've communicated with me and how you've talked and everything else. And maybe here's just some things that I would just give you words of wisdom from what I've learned. And at that point,
I can only imagine what drunk Chris words of wisdom were.
It was solid because the dad at this point, he's like, what are you drinking? And I go, I'm drinking a coconut marg. He's like, let me buy you a drink. So he goes and buys.
You're giving my sons good advice.
Right. And so anyway, I got 2 from him.
Oh
and he did come back and I was like, I can't do a double. I need to be a single. Cause I was like, man, there's a lot of margs here. So if we do a quick count of the marg count, we're probably somewhere in, if we do the singles, we're probably in the 10, 11 range.
Yeah, it's intense.
It's more than I would ever drink.
Yeah. So anyway.
So then I head back to the room and I just
pass out.
I'm out. It's like 6
o'clock.
Well,
you went to dinner, didn't you, or no?
They brought me to dinner, they said.
They shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have.
There's pictures.
They should have known.
It's funny
better.
Because when we were sharing pictures, I feel like 50% of the pictures
was
Chris in his worst state of me sleeping, and like sitting at the table or sitting in a chair.
You did not fall asleep at the table.
I don't think I fell asleep. I think it was more of just resting my eyes.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
You fell asleep at the table.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what?
I was getting, again.
I'm
with a screaming child. My girlfriend's left. He's having a ball, which I wouldn't have it any other way. I actually, not one part of me was annoyed. I was chuckling. And when the text stopped, I knew you were like dead to the world.
Yeah.
But you did before you went to sleep. And most of the text was like gibberish at this point. Like, did you look back?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny.
It's like not real typing at all.
It's like, and I'm looking back on how did I misspell the?
Yeah, like where's your phone to like help you out? Like you were that far off that autocorrect.
But it was funny because
like,
I did literally say, I was just like, I feel like I'm floating on dry land.
I know.
Like,
but then at the end you said, I'm just me. I just need to go to sleep.
It's just me. I'm done. Well, because we always talk about like communicating and being like, hey, where I'm
Here's
at
what's
when we're on our
amazing
trips
about you though is that you do always, like, if you ever do too much, you always go to bed early and you wake up the next day. Like most people like me, I don't know when to stop, and so like I'll wake up hungover, but you always wake up fresh as a damn daisy. And I'm like, I do. Seriously?
Yeah, because I always go to bed early.
I know. It's amazing. But anyway, when you were talking about passing out, I didn't realize that it was you, because there was a guy who passed out.
Yeah, so we were at dinner and this guy was walking and he literally just fell face down.
So scary.
And it looked like he had tripped because it was like a little ledge, but his feet were like 1.5 feet back. This guy was really tall, and he hit his head and he was kind of shaking and people rushed to help him.
Scary.
And I guess his table, they were like, he wasn't feeling good and he was feeling a little
like stood up to go to the bathroom.
And he just stood up to go and
splash his face.
And you know what? That's the thing is you got to be so careful when you're in a tropical environment with just a little bit of any drink.
Remember
or
when
not even drinking.
Were you with me when we were at Mar Vista? That woman was laying on the ground. Do you remember?
Yeah,
that? I know.
She was just laying underneath the table.
I mean, she ended up being okay, but yeah, they took her away. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's just.
But you said you were like everyone from the table. They were like a party of 6. Like everyone stood up, and there was like 2 people at the edge of the table, like still sitting, and you're like, you could tell they were like the in-laws.
They don't care about Charlie as much as everyone else.
Like, he'll be okay, right?
He'll be. And you can see him talking like it's like I'm literally like putting words in their mouth while they're sitting there, and I'm thinking the one's like, they're like, should we get up? I don't know. I mean, everyone else got up. Don't you think it's enough people? You know,
you
it's
can
like,
imagine
what are we going to
do
if we stand up?
Cheryl, what are you going to do to help him?
What are you going to do to help? You don't know what to do. Are you a doctor? You know,
that's when someone's like, I'm a doctor. Is there a doctor?
Well, you know what's funny is I almost stood up and was like, and I was like, I'm not a doctor.
No,
I need to sit down.
God. Well, hopefully that wasn't the night you were drunk.
No, it was a different night.
Your like eyes are half closed. I'm gonna
get help here. Here I am kissing some old dude.
Oh my God.
And they're like,
That's
he's having a heart attack, not choking.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. But the dives themselves, you said the first one was like, what you saw was cool, but the charter, not great.
This industry, and, to kind of bring everything back to
business.
I look at everything kind of like from a business perspective.
Well, yeah, you're
customer
running your own
service,
business. Yeah.
everything else. And 10 years ago, when you go on a dive trip, you'd have great surface intervals. They'd have sliced oranges for you. They'd have some type of sugary, anything to kind of give you things.
By the way, when
they had iced coolers with Gatorades. They'd have orange juice. Like they took care of you. Today,
when I dove in the Galapagos, they literally had like a meal prepared for you because you were out for like hours in the afternoon, and they would be like, "Here's your fried rice and chicken," and like
and this dive trip, they like hook our BC up. They're like, "Oh yeah, you don't have 3,000. You only have 2,000 air," and it's like, "I'd like a new tank, please." Like and then literally there was no fruit, there was no ice, there was a water bucket with no ice in it, and then they go, "I have never been on a dive boat that didn't have cups," and they're like, "Well, the instructions said to bring your own cup."
Like what? You're like, what are you?
And then
the recycling
I think Adam
police
looks
these
at me
days?
and he goes, it did say that, but underneath it said, and if you don't have one, we will provide you with one.
You can't not provide cups for water
Seriously.
on a dive charter.
So I went and bought some Gatorades and et cetera.
So crazy.
But the biggest thing here, I've actually never been on a dive center that I felt was so unsafe.
Yeah, that's
like the people. I couldn't tell who was crew, who was like recreation. They were just having fun.
What was so crazy was the first dive you did was with nitrox, which for those of you who know,
yeah. So we
you have to be certified.
I am an advanced diver.
All of you are.
We're all advanced.
You've been going diving
and
for
we've been
11
going
years.
diving for a dozen years. And so they sit there and go, "Hey, we're going this wreck dive, and you're getting nitrox." And we literally go, "Well, we don't.
We're not
There's only
certified
one of
to
us that
use
have
nitrox.
a nitrox card."
Is it Paul?
And Adam.
Oh.
And so Adam's like, "I have a nitrox card," and then they're like, "Okay, well, we're going to sign you up for an introduction to nitrox class, and you're going to sign the waivers."
And it starts now.
And it starts now. But by the way, just you signing the form was the class. Like there's no like, hey, this is what nitrogen is. This is what you can expect. Like we did change over our computers. They didn't go over and be like, hey, you need to change from 21% to 33%.
Well, at least you had someone in your group.
Our guys were like, hey, we need to change over. We need to reset our computers, et cetera, et cetera.
See, I wouldn't have a clue.
And so we went down. And I mean, it was a great dive. That first dive
was probably the
in
best.
hindsight was the best dive.
Yeah.
We were with a bunch of inexperienced people, so it was probably like half as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
But the ship was cool. I saw some huge giant Goliath grouper and
Really?
schools of fish. I mean, it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
We just didn't really get into the wreck, and I would have liked to got into the wreck a little bit. But the biggest issue following that was service intervals, and so these individuals were so quick to get us up out of the first one and then get us back into the second dive.
Normally you need like 30 minutes
30
in
minutes.
between minimum, like between dives.
Yeah.
If you're going to go up.
They tried to get us in after 10 minutes
And you're like,
after
what
one
the
dive.
hell?
And we had just dove 100 feet.
Deep.
100 feet.
That's the thing.
And so-
even if you were doing a 30 to 50 foot dive, it's like,
And I couldn't understand why my computer kept going off. And it was like the decompression
It's like-
limit.
yeah.
Yeah, like it was going off and saying, "Hey, you need to go up."
Yeah, like you need-
it didn't tell you to go up. You go up, and then your deco time.
It's
goes
all
up.
about the pressure in your body
And
and,
the
in your
build
blood.
up in your bloodstream.
Exactly. And so it's like once you, based on the
I got
pressure
into
and how far.
not an altercation, but I did get into a little bit of a.
First of all,
like
if
they
you're,
asked me
if you're calling a little bit of something, then it absolutely was an altercation.
Well, let's just say I was forceful in my response when they asked me how the dive was, and I just said we spent half the dive. We were 80 feet of water. We spent half the dive at 35 feet because the pressure.
Yeah, you had to.
And now we had one guy that was down there. And here's the thing: you can do it. You're not gonna die, but you could.
Well, first
you could
of
get
all,
the bends. You
they
could
have they have chambers where sometimes, like, if you don't properly come up and you actually do get the bends, you have to stay in oxygen chambers for literally like 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, like it's
not a joke.
Yeah, and there's just too many health
Yeah.
risks altogether.
But anyway, it was fun with the boys.
Anyways,
you
great
guys have
trip.
been talking for years about doing something other than diving, and I feel like you always like recommend like maybe we go hiking, but everyone's like, "Nah, man, we want to dive."
It's because the underneath you can go hiking at any time, but diving is something magical. And I feel like we all looked at each other and we're like, we got spoiled last year. Last year we were in Belize,
Wow, yeah.
the big blue hole, the wildlife was insane.
Yeah.
The night dives we did, like it was just
So
a whole
cool.
nother league.
Yeah.
Then you go back to the Keys and you're like,
Wah, wah.
wah, wah.
Especially if you're like, you rode the best ride and now it's like going to
last
take
year,
a while.
yeah. So now they're like, hey, did I tell you where they want to go next year?
No.
They want to go to
Honduras.
Cozumel.
Cozumel.
They said there's amazing
Mexico?
diving off of Cozumel. So
Well, I'll come on that trip. Should we invite the wifeys?
We were actually talking about
Wifeys,
piggybacking
go to
wife trip on the
Mexico.
back end. It would need to be on the back end, not the front end.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have time the Diamond Dogs have time to talk.
The Diamond Dogs.
He got that
need
from
to-
Ted Lasso. They're working on another season.
I thought the season was out. No?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe it was just like they're getting the band back together.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
enjoyed Ted Lasso.
I know.
I like
it was
that
a great
guy.
show. But anyway, when you came back on Sunday, it was my birthday.
It was your birthday.
Yeah, I had a great time celebrating. We
We
made
spent the day together. Did
my
everything you wanted
parents
to do.
celebrated with me before. We did pizzas with the uni, and
Mm-hmm.
they actually, my sister got my dad like the pizza turner game changer.
Game changer. That's what you said. I'm actually looking forward to the uni now.
Yeah,
I mean, I
then-
loved the uni before, so
So on Sunday when you came home, we went to. It's been raining. It seriously has not stopped raining. So we were just like, you know what? Let's go to Wicked Cantina, get a couple margs, because why not, right? Finish off. The
I mean,
week
it was kind of
with
like
some margs.
revisiting the marg.
I know.
By the way, I had those coconut margs all weekend long at the resort.
I know they must have
all
been
week,
good.
yeah.
You didn't switch it up, but we got there. Remember that woman? We were like, oh, can we sit over there? She was like, we had the baby with us. She was like, no, you can't sit over there with the baby. You can't have that. We can't put high
Yeah.
chairs over there. And we were like, we've literally been here so many times and we sit
Like,
there every
yeah,
single time.
we're here every
So
couple
what
weeks.
was funny, speaking of customer service and business, is she was then she got a phone call, completely ignored us. We're standing
Right.
up front with a baby in our arms,
She's
like, hello.
That's the manager.
Yeah, she was like, that was my manager. But the woman at the bar, she waited like 10 minutes while we were standing out there. And she turned around to us and she was like, I have been in this. She was a customer sitting at the bar. And she goes, I just heard that entire thing. I cannot believe how rude that woman was to you. She was like, and
Do you want me to say something?
no, she was like, I'm gonna say something,
Yeah.
And I was like, no. She was like, 50 years I've worked in hospitality. You don't treat someone like that. She's not even trying to accommodate you. You two are sitting there with your baby. And I was like, no, it's okay. I was like, maybe she's having a bad day. I was very like,
You were really good. You're like, and you made a good point, which a lot of people don't realize. And that is people have bad days.
people have bad days. And
You don't know. It
Here's
could
the
be-
thing. It was my birthday and I wanted some queso that wasn't spit in.
I agree.
I was just like, we can't do this. But no, it was awesome. I had Pilates. Well, my mom was watching the baby and my dad took over babysitting for a bit. And my mom came to her first Pilates class with me, which I thought was a great idea until I realized I was slightly terrified of her hurting herself the entire time while I was in the class. So it was less relaxing for me.
Because you're watching over her. And she was probably just having a blast.
She did great. Don't know if she'll come back again, but I was glad she came.
Yeah.
But now it's back to the grind. It's like finally, I mean, sure, it's Labor Day weekend. I'm like, finally we're back to it's 3-day weekend.
I know.
But still.
I
it's
will
like-
tell you, this week, I feel a huge resurgence back into like, okay, we had fun in the summertime. The big trips are I say the big trips are over. The summer trips are over. We have
Well,
a few
the long
things-
one. We've
the
got some
long
weekend
one.
trips coming up in the fall. We
You're
even
right.
canceled
We had
one because it was too much.
really long trips.
Yeah.
This dive trip was long, and then we also had the
Michigan was 10
family
days.
Michigan
Yeah.
10-day trip, and
That's a
that
lot.
was long. And so the
Tell me how you really feel.
yeah, tell me how you really feel. It was long. I didn't think I'd survive.
You know what? There's not one person that was on that Michigan trip that wouldn't have the same exact reaction.
Oh gosh,
and
everyone.
we all love each other.
It's like if we could pull us all aside and put us in the chair in the basement,
They'd
kind
be
of
like,
like what do you call that?
10 days.
The interview
Yeah,
room.
yeah. If
And
we
be
were
like
all
this
in
and be
the-
like, yeah, I think it's, and then you like pasted them all together.
Yeah, loved it. Not 10 days again.
Not 10 days again. Not 10 days again.
I know.
That's amazing.
But no, there's a lot going on in the business. So it's nice to be back, catching up.
Yeah, we
And
came back this week, and
there's big news today.
Today's the official
Today's the
close
day.
on BC sales day. So this is our first acquisition, and it's
a big deal.
It's a big deal. I mean, we're literally bringing on 12 employees. We're bringing on revenue. We're bringing on equipment. We're bringing on rent. We're bringing on, and I'm sitting here, and because I haven't done it before, like I've always been a builder, never been an acquirer.
Right.
And so there's a lot
We've
of
been
unknowns.
at companies where we've participated in researching of
true.
acquisitions and
done an acquisition
enrolling in the employees and
it's
things
always
like that.
been disastrous is not the right word, but it's.
Yeah, no, I've never seen a smooth acquisition at any company that I've been with.
And so, so like there's a huge part of me that's sitting there and it's going.
You know what I was thinking about, speaking of which?
What's that?
If
Which is why I'm wearing a collared shirt today, by the way, because we're taking pictures.
We're taking a picture for the acquisition. No, I think it's really, first of all, there's always things, what you don't know, you don't know. And you only find out when you're in it. Yep. And it's like, it doesn't matter how much preparation you do, how much research you do, how much paperwork you require up front. You always find shit out after the fact that you're like, well, this is fucked.
Yeah.
And you work through it and you figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, the customers might be like, you know, something used to be happening and it gets turned off or whatever. And the customers are like, what the hell happened? And you're like, okay, sorry about that.
The amazing thing here, we're really blessed in the situation because the owner's retiring, but he still wants to stay active in selling.
Right,
Which is what he wants to do, which is great for us.
Perfect.
His wife also works there and oversees.
Everyone's staying involved.
Everyone's
should be
staying
super
involved.
casual. We need to make sure. Anyway, what I was going to say is there's a couple of things that have always been like hang-ups with acquisitions. One is that the customers weren't made aware far enough in advance that any sort of change was happening, even if they might not be impacted by the change, like calling a different phone number and not finding out the owner that they've loved for years, the person they've been loyal to is like still at the company every day. You know, we've had acquisitions where the owner has actually just exited the building and people are like, I want to talk to Cheryl. And you're like, Cheryl's not here.
Cheryl left. Matter of fact, she's drinking coconut margs down in.
Cheryl's happy. Okay. Don't worry about it.
Happy.
What Cheryl said is she really wants you to continue doing business with us. No, Cheryl doesn't give a shit. She got her money and she's gone. But so that's one thing is just making sure communication's proper and that it like comes from the current owner to say like, this is what I want. This is how we're going to move forward because people like to hear from the person they know and trust. 2 is you need to make sure the employees feel comfortable because a lot of times, like regardless of what anybody says in advance, it doesn't matter. Like if you were to go over there and talk to any one of the employees in a friend group and be a fly on the wall, they were like, yeah, I don't know, man, my company's getting bought out by some other thing. And like, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to keep my job. Like, you know, so people are always really nervous. And I've seen acquisitions where they've intentionally kept the employees on board when like large conglomerates buy them. And once they've trained up, you know, on processes and procedures, unfortunately, they do just let those people go. Whether they were better or worse employees, they just aren't their employees and they don't care anymore.
And you know, the big thing for us is
we're keeping all the employees. That's our intention.
And the goal is like, hey, but you do have to be a culture fit.
Absolutely.
You know? You have to be someone who's going to really, you know, help us grow.
Yeah.
And I think I was telling you this morning, it's like we woke up this morning and it's like, it's been 2 years since we came in this building. And it was me and Maria. Maria was employee
and
number
now we're gonna have like
here.
almost 36 employees. But
and
but
now
seriously,
we're at 36 people.
I think it's
in less than 2 years.
That's first of all, that's insanity.
It's insanity.
It's insane.
Yeah, and that's what I sit there. I
and
keep
you've
waiting
done
for the shoe
amazing,
to drop
and it
and
keeps
thinking, what
we keep building. Everything keeps happening. It gets better and better every single day. We find awesome people to join the team. Like it starts feeling even more like a company dynamic that's growing, and people are knowing more about like what they need to do and being empowered to make those decisions and lead teams and manage projects. And so like it's just getting better.
Yeah, I'm actually a little jealous of Maria and Robin.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have the best job, I think, doing like fun T-shirt stuff.
Yeah, it
like,
will be fun.
I mean, and just, you know, social and just, you know, adding stuff and bringing on brands and different things like that. I think there's, I can't say it's going to be overwhelming.
Space to be in,
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, let's come up with some ideas and do something fun. Yeah. Like, I think that's good. Not that we don't have fun on the dusted side and the steak, which, by the way, not in our notes, but Barrett literally sends me.
Our VP of sales.
VP of sales of Dusted literally sends me a video where Dano's Seasoning is talking about Get Dusted.
Did we talk about
We did not talk about this last week.
We did. It's okay.
We did.
You discovered that the video existed.
Okay.
One of our competitors.
We put together a plan
yes.
while I was gone.
Yes.
And so the team put together a shirt that's the exact same shirt as Dano's. They wrote 10 really awesome scripts.
I
and
love
when
how he says
got back from the vacation.
You made videos.
we made videos. And so we made 10 videos on Monday, and I saw one of them already, and they're great. Good. Yeah, because it's just like him and then back to us and everything else. And it's just fun. You know,
and what we talked about when we were discussing this last time is that one, it probably wasn't intentional. He probably doesn't know we exist.
He doesn't know we exist.
But what will be funny is if these videos are successful, he'll know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like if he was being used in something or whatever and someone else sent it to him because he showed up or whatever, that would be
right.
funny.
And it's just trademark infringement, nothing, too big. So, we'll throw that out there. Barrett's just like, if we don't say something, we have to plant our foot in the ground. And I'm like, man,
because that's what we talked about. You were saying on the last podcast, you've received so many cease and desist letters in your life, but you've only done like one official. And, we used to do the same thing.
How you approach it.
Do you know what's so interesting? This is kind of off topic, and I've got something to say about Dusted too. But we were talking about my sister and I the other day, like AI and how like even in school and professors and how it will change for like our future. And I was like, remember how big plagiarism used to be? Like very similarly, like because I was thinking about when did we do cease and assist from a marketing perspective at PropLogix. Someone was like stealing our brand. Their website looked very similar to ours, but we had a company that literally copy and pasted almost every single blog we had ever written and like put it on their website. And,
really?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I remember that.
And I was like, what the? You spend a lot of time writing those blogs, but things have changed so much. Like a lot of people are getting their material to put online and blogs that they're writing off of AI.
I can take everyone's blog, run it through there and get totally new blogs.
Exactly. And people don't even need to search for answers on the internet anymore in blogs because they can just find it in AI themselves. Like,
right. All the blogs are being indexed
different.
And the data's coming in.
But I was saying to my sister,
which is why we're actually writing blogs, because we want that data to get consumed to be like, Heidi at Kaloop says, blah, 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 which is our principal.
That's where they're finding the information to answer the questions in ChatGPT. It's so crazy. It's like, it's literally like a 360-degree shift in like how you're not only creating the content, but digesting the content.
I should probably make some blogs for myself too and put them in there.
Sure. Go for it. Yeah. But it is crazy. And I was thinking back to college and I'm like, gosh, do you remember if you were caught plagiarizing like on an essay?
Oh, it's like an F. Like
you failed the class.
Yeah, you could fail a class.
Literally failed
the college I went to, if you plagiarized, you were kicked, you were drummed out of school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is the scariest thing that could ever happen to you. Because people like drumming in the middle of the night and they kick your door and they're like, the honor court is met.
He's not joking, by the way. He's actually like went to a military institute where they would get drums and they're like making the biggest mockery.
Paul was one of the drummers for the honor court. Like he would always know that night someone was getting rolled.
That's crazy.
Because they would let him know and be like, hey, you need to be here.
And you feel so bad.
1 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
So him and like a couple other people, and it's like
so crazy.
And you wake up to this like the reverberation in the barracks.
That's like a totally different meaning to the walk of shame. Usually it's like,
here's the thing.
You were somewhere the
that
night
person
before,
has already
back
gone.
In the same dress.
Like that person's gone. Like they're not there and like being like it used to be in the day that person was there.
Yeah,
and then they had to walk out.
That's what
and
I
it was
picture.
like everyone's looking at him like, yeah. Now that person doesn't exist, and it's more like this thing where it's like
a reminder.
So the drums go, and then what? Literally, the honor court, which is like 10 people, they march out in the middle of the courtyard, right? And then the drums like stop, like the clack of the end, and then they're marching, and then just the president keeps marching, and he goes in the circle, and he's like, tonight the honor court is met and found cadet blah 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 guilty of cheating. Their name shall never be mentioned in the 4 walls of barracks. I was literally going to say, again.
This sounds like a Harry Potter scene.
It is totally Harry Potter. People are peeing their pants. People are shaking. When I was a rat, this happened like the first week I was there.
Really?
It's probably the only time I sat there going,
oh my God.
What in the world did I get myself into? Like,
that's insane.
That was insane.
That is insane. But so plagiarizing is so different these days. Like, but it's crazy too, because one of my girlfriends is going back to school.
That.
Well, that's what I was going to say. They can check to see if, whatever's been done by AI. Well, so she had to write an English paper the other day and she was freaking out. She was like, I put my paper that I didn't cheat on, and I literally wrote myself through a tool to say, does it seem like it's been done through AI? And she said, and it said, yes, 75% says that, yes, this was written by AI, and it wasn't. And she was like freaking out.
You know what's crazy with that is like, you could look you could read what I write and be like, yeah, that's Chris. And then
I know.
And then you could run through ChatGPT and be like, yeah, like this is Chris's thoughts, but he did not write this.
But I know you so well that I know when something's been. It's 100% always your thoughts, but I know when ChatGPT's done it versus you.
We did a little exercise yesterday where I had to type in, we were doing some recordings. I typed into my phone. It was like, ask ChatGPT what you do. And it gave me, based off of what I've given it.
Really?
And told me the type of person that I am. And
Really?
Yeah.
How did it do?
It was pretty spot on, I think. Yeah. That's
kind of cool.
Too scary spot on.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so while you were gone, totally going back to Dusted, but I wanted to try a new trial recipe for the blackened seasoning.
Because you didn't have any at home, so you're like, wait, I made this.
Well, you literally just jumped to like the end of the story.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't even. Anyway,
I thought I was teeing it up. Sorry, I actually thought there was something else to the story that I didn't hear.
Gave the punchline.
I'm so sorry. I took that away from you.
Anyway, long story short, which you totally ruined it, but I was looking in the cupboard for blackened because I was going to do blackened salmon. Because we don't have a salmon recipe on the website yet. So I was going to do a trial. And you hate the smell of salmon and you hate salmon. So I always make it when you're gone. It's like one of my favorite things in the world to eat and make, to be honest. And so, and even if I do it like the day you're coming home, you're like, I can still smell it. So I always have to do it a couple days before you get home. But I looked in the pantry and I was like, oh my gosh, we don't have any blackened in the house, which is crazy because we did. So I don't know what you did with it. But anyway.
I think we used it all.
Okay, maybe.
With that last thing of chicken.
We've got it at the lake.
Do you want to bring some home? Do you want to grab some today?
We need some. Yeah, we definitely need some.
Because we got people coming over, so.
I mean, I could order it on Amazon.
As long as you give us a 5-star review. I tried to give us a review and I ordered it and it literally was like.
You're the owner.
Yeah. It like totally knew that. I was like, this is really great. Really, really good on my chicken. Here's a picture of my chicken. They're like, this picture looks staged. Yep. We're looking at the content.
Like,
yep. This was shot at the Dustin headquarters on Maria's camera. This is definitely a stock photo.
The internet knows. They know these days.
They do
But
know.
it was funny because we didn't have any blackened and I sat there and I was like, well, shit. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to do something else with my salmon. Like, I'm not making the recipe that I originally thought I was going to. And then I was like, wait a second. I'm the inventor of
I have
blackened
all the
seasoning.
ingredients here.
I can make it at home. So
Speaking
I did.
of
And it
which,
was
so
delicious.
we're expecting a pallet order to come in.
For blackened?
For blackened and dusted. And so we have slowly been selling. By the way, we have had a phenomenal month in dusted with blackened stuff. Like, so much so that dusted actually paid its rent this month. Like, I was like, holy cow.
Slow clap.
Like, slow clap.
Slow clap.
And, but then, of course, Brandon I'm like, hey, we got this pallet order that's coming. I just found out it's coming in the next day or two. I'm like, make sure we're all stocked up. So he's like, I was like, put everything in the cart, get ready to check out, and then we'll do a quick review. So he gets everything in there, and he's like, you might want to come look at this before I hit the purchase button. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, what is it, like $1,000 or something like that? He's like, yeah. Like that. It's like $2,700.
Really?
For ingredients and everything else. And I looked at it. I was like, I could probably slim this down a little bit. But I was like,
just do it.
Just do it. And let's make sure. Because we have waited on other ingredients in the past.
Right.
And,
you just don't want to be in that position.
You know, and so
you gotta
I was just like, but we're running out of space back there. Like, we have
we're running out of space everywhere. I can't get to my office.
Yeah, I know.
Still.
We filmed in your office yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was awesome. They did a great job setting it up.
Well, what else is going on with work? Anything?
We have some clients. We have some apps that are coming out live. We have we have a lot going on. My goal right now is to keep all the clients happy. I'm at this kind of like this mode where I'm just kind of like
this crossroads.
Please let all the tires stay on the car right now.
Yeah.
Keep the clients happy. Kaloop is our biggest struggle. It is a brand new venture.
That's the other thing with acquisitions is like you need to make sure that while people are taking on new responsibilities because there has been an acquisition, like your employees that you have had in their typical roles, and it's a change for the employees at the other company. It also is like the wheels have to stay on the bus. Like
you got to keep the wheels on the bus.
You can't just make that a priority.
No. And we have all this new software rolling out for the new venture, and I'm trying to balance it. And I see a lot of amazing things have happened this summer as far as passing responsibility on, getting out of some of the weeds. And what's happened is that the people who have stepped up into these roles have done an amazing job. And I found myself doing other things that maybe I was like, didn't have the time to do before. Now I have the time, but don't add the same maximum value that, so really for me, it's just about prioritizing. But in Kaloop specifically, we're still learning how to onboard and get customers in.
Yeah.
And we believe we have 2 people coming on board this week. We've identified some more bugs.
And there's
we got
a
new
bunch
software
of shows
going.
we're going to this fall.
And we're going to 8 shows.
Yeah.
So
like
I'm
time.
not getting too upset. But I am sitting there going, we need.
It's always not disheartening, but it's always stressful when you take a risk on doing something new.
Yeah.
You're kind of ahead of your time in terms
We are ahead of our time.
What this product is and what it offers. And there's people like it will solve problems for them, just like AI, solves problems for people, but it takes time for people to adopt new things. Like people don't like
really,
change.
What I really want to do more than anything is I want to buy another property management company that's already got the clients to roll
And then
in
you can
and
just
bring
use
the
it.
team.
Yeah.
And then use them as the testing platform, use the team that we've already built here. I am sending out letters. I've sent out letters to 40 of them. No responses, really.
Let's buy another business. Let's buy another building. I'm just like, buy.
Well, it's not as much. Here's the thing. Not everything always has to be money, right? Like,
That's true.
I think a lot of times if you've built up value and you're a business owner, unless you're going to sell for bazillions, right? If you take a quick couple $100,000 off the table and then you give up your salary, it's like, what's your plan? And a lot of business owners, I think there's something more accurate of, hey, put a little skin in the game. I know you're real. And then I would like to maybe just reduce my workload and get the same salary for maybe more years where you have this cash flow kind of coming in
right,
and allowing you to have more time. So I think creative financing, which is why the BC sales took so long. We were originally going to do the acquisition with a building purchase and we just couldn't get the banks to, the economy is different, right?
Yeah.
And the banks are being very scrutinized and they were like, well, this is not your revenue. It's their revenue. So the difference between projected revenue and real revenue is 3%. Well, 3% on $1 million is 30 grand.
For example.
So multiply that by multiple, right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference a year. That's 100 grand.
Yeah.
So 100 grand in just extra interest. It was like, you know what? This is not the right decision.
No.
Reformulate the whole deal to justify the business.
But that's the thing too. Like sometimes you do, even though it's frustrating for things to get delayed, like there's always delays. And it's because these things come up and you're
It's
like,
real
okay,
life.
Not what we thought was going to happen. You problem solve, you know?
And then literally it's like, I think I was just telling your parents the other day, cause I had a Starbucks in my hand. I was like, I literally have like $12 in my Starbucks account. Like these are my last Starbucks. I cannot afford to replenish the Starbucks
Thank
account.
you. We have a coffee machine at home. That you
We
should
do.
use.
Well, I have that too. I'm on a huge caffeine morning.
You need to stop with all the caffeine. Anyway,
thing.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
we're going to make sure that you're the healthiest version of yourself while we've got all this
Yeah, I got
stuff
great
going
news
on.
from my little heart scans and stuff when I was on the trip. It's funny because I called them and I'm like, I would not care at all.
But
At
you're
all.
diving.
But I'm going to dive and I'm going to be in 80 feet of water.
He did like a CT, he did the whole plaque
I did like
thing.
a
He
whole
did
heart
yeah.
plaque thing.
I
And
made
so
him.
now I'm like,
we've had too many health scares.
I'm
in
like,
our life
hey,
that I'm
am I
like,
going to be okay? Like, and so now I'm like calling them and then I got a message on my phone. They're like, yeah, you're looking good.
Yeah, they said everything.
And I was
really
like,
good.
hey,
they
I'm
said,
looking
keep
great.
doing what you're doing.
I'm going down 100 feet looking
Yeah.
at fishies.
I know.
Looking
at fishies.
So,
But you gotta bike. You're gonna start biking every single day.
we are going to start biking.
I'm sure I will.
Yeah. I
walk. First of all, I walk every day. And
First of
I
all,
go to
you made me
Pilates.
buy the bike. You were literally like, you need to buy the bike right now.
Because you were told to walk, and
Yeah.
And like, I've
And my
got
heel
plantar
hurts.
fasciitis.
Well, my heel hurts sometimes, and I can't do the distance that I really enjoy to do. That's really the only thing.
He can't do the distance on a Monday, but trust me, if you got this man into Disney, he'd be like walking all day long without a problem.
I know.
be
I'm
like-
actually dreading. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, "Ooh, we have Disney planned in December."
You'll be
gonna
better
be-
by then.
Yeah.
You're gonna be working out on your little bike.
So I got a bike. I got more pads to
He
elongate
got a
our
TV
area.
for
I got
our
a
garage
TV for
because
the garage.
of course, the garage is air conditioned because that was like your present.
That
years
was 2
ago.
summers
I
ago.
know. But anyway, the garage is.
That was for me and Jerry.
Yeah, that's true.
I got that so that Jerry and I could be in the air conditioning.
Yeah, working.
Yeah, working.
On projects.
On projects. Now it's great because I can work on. And for your birthday, I got you a golf cart battery.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't even know
And
if
that's
we've
gotta get put
mentioned
in.
it, but the golf cart has like completely failed us. We did talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes, because the golf
It
cart literally
arrived.
goes like 2 miles an hour. And we had our friends come into town and we were like, hey, you can borrow the golf cart. We couldn't
And it
give
was
them a
like,
car. And it literally like, it can do one ride around town and then it goes down to like 2 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour. You're like literally creeping home. And so
Yeah.
anyway, yes, we got the battery, which
within this-
arrived at the house. And talk about,
I don't know how you got it in the door.
it was
I haven't even
so
tried to pick the box up
heavy.
yet. I looked at it and I'm like, that thing's heavy.
It
It is the
was so
biggest
heavy.
one-piece brick of battery that I've.
It might have been.
It might be
heavier.
100 pounds.
It might have been heavier than your log splitter.
Oh, it's way heavier than the log splitter.
And my dad had to help me with that one, and I was pregnant at the time. This one I didn't care. Good thing I've been taking Pilates. I'm buff over here.
You are buff. I
No,
was actually surprised that you got it
I cannot
in.
believe I got that thing inside by myself.
I'm actually going to have to get help to lift that into the golf cart.
I don't even know if it says heavy on the box.
No, it just
Because I
it
did-
doesn't
what
need
I
to.
can tell you
it doesn't need to because the moment you touch it, most boxes like shimmer a little bit.
Okay.
This is like a brick.
Oh, I was like not expecting it at all.
Yeah.
You should have seen. There's
Did
probably
you try to
you
kick
should-
it? Because
No.
like a lot of times, like you just like it's like you hit the box with your foot to move it out of the doorway a little bit.
Oh, I might have. I don't
like
know.
imagine if that was blocking the door, like
Yeah,
people
yeah,
put
yeah,
the
yeah.
packages.
Whatever.
You
could
would have
probably-
got the door open.
We could probably look back at the Ring camera and
It'll be
giggle
hilarious.
at
I'll
me
look at it.
trying to get that
Yeah.
box inside. Yeah, I did a good job. It was. I had to like do the one side, then up, then one side.
Oh, really? Did it fall at all or no?
No,
Okay, good.
it's very, very gentle.
Well, I'm going to hook it up in the next week or two, and I'm going to reorganize
By
the
the way, I
garage
was
a
told it
little
was
bit.
going to be done last
By
night.
the way,
He just
I
bought himself
literally
2 weeks.
I've been trying to sell your dad's electrical lawnmower for.
I know, Dad, you're gonna have to take that
Like,
back.
I
listening.
wasn't getting like any bids, and now all of a sudden I got everyone, and everyone's pretty much at the same price, right? It's like $200. I've got it like lowballed or like
It's just gotta
like
get out
I'll
of the
come get it
garage.
today for 140. And one guy goes, he misspelled a word or something. He goes, I'll take. He goes 140. I'll take it.
By the way, this is Facebook.
Jow, JOW. So
Instead
he
of
meant
now.
he meant now, and so I didn't see. And so I said I responded with I'll take 200. I said I can go as low as 200, and he responds back with just no, and so I respond with okay then you can't have it jow. And I redid his spelling error. And I was so proud of myself because I was like, it's one of those things where it's like, you just say that. And then I thought, this guy's going to totally get a friend and then try to bid and come just beat me up over jow.
I was going to say over jow.
Over jow.
I really hope you're not providing addresses to these.
Not
people.
until they're like, hey, I want to.
I hate Facebook Marketplace.
And I'm like, so there might be someone coming tonight at 4:30.
No, there's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got people coming over.
I know, but I have committed to your father, and I'm going to
this
do this thing. I have been polishing this thing.
I'm
I've
gonna-
charged up the batteries.
I'm
They're going to be like, does this thing work? And I'll be like, bro, I don't know. He might be getting a FaceTime. Jerry might be getting a FaceTime and be like, Jerry, walk us through how this thing gets used.
All right, I'm over. Look, I'm going to give a time frame on the lawnmower. If it's not gone in 2 weeks, it's out.
Well, first of all,
Back at my parents.
I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to sell it.
All right. Well, we'll give them an update next week.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
It's been great, guys.
Mower update coming soon.
See ya.